Welcome back to the Locked In Athlete Pod. Super blessed today. All right. You guys will know him probably as QB1Weezy, who has torn up and ascended the rocket ship on Instagram and social media, doing a hell of a job. But Wesley's the guy that I want to talk to today.
Yes,
Wesley, I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce the last name properly.
Yeah, it's a crazy one. It's not that hard though. Chimanga.
I'm still not attempting it, but I'm glad that you just gave it to us.
There we go. There it is though.
But let me gas you up for a second. So Wesley, as you guys listen to the podcast today, this is a guy who is a young up and comer that's sharing light with the quarterback community, making a difference. And he has a heart that is evidence of that. And ultimately those things, through what we've talked about through the podcast multiple times, is the depth of the pain that you've been through, or the experiences that you've had, and the perspective and the fight that you've had to put forward. It builds character. And, for this guy, he comes at this with a very unique perspective. He's from Canada. And he's stirring shit up in the States, that's for sure. But he's from Canada. And, his story and just what you guys are going to get to know about him. And then ultimately, mechanically, his evolution, and then getting involved in social media. There's a lot of different things there. And then where he and I connected, and as you listen, it's dude, these guys have only known each other for 20 minutes, is there's an energy side to this that we're going to tap into, that you hear us with Locked In QB doing all the time. And if you hear this guy talk for the next 45 minutes, hour, however long it's going to go, you're going to hear a lot of that at the underbelly. So,
Yes,
Wesley, I'm friggin' juiced to have you in here, bro. Juiced to have you in here. And where I like to start it for everybody is just how you got into, or became aware that this was the position that you wanted to pursue with your life, your life.
Yeah.
What age and kind of how did that all kick up for you?
Well, first and foremost, I just want to take the time to thank you for inviting me to be able to speak today, giving me the platform. Honestly, I don't normally do things like this. So, I just wanted to take the time to express my gratitude towards you. You guys have been doing it for a long time and changing a lot of lives. You guys might not even know it, but just putting out the content out there, you never know who it reaches. So, yeah, you guys are doing a great job. Keep spreading that positivity. And we love you guys. But so for me, I don't have the cool little football journey. I started playing quarterback really late. I was just going through life, playing different sports. I played soccer, basketball. Unfortunately, I didn't play any baseball. I know a lot of you guys down south, are big baseball players, but I didn't get the luxury of doing that. So I started playing football at around 12, 13. I actually played O-line. I was a chubby little boy, you feel me? I was playing left tackle over there. And then, yeah, man, it was just one day, just something about the quarterback position, just having to be a leader of men. Me outside the field, I was going through a lot. I come from a single parent household, so I had a lot of responsibility on me, and just the quarterback position sort of translates to that. You're the coach on the field. You need to be able to deal with all the crowd noise, if you have the luxury of playing at a bigger school. But even without the crowd noise, there's still a lot of intricacies that comes with it. Your coach yelling at you, your star receiver, yo, what's my route? All the little things, you got to know the defense. You got to be able to do all of this, and you have a certain amount of time to process the information and get down to it, So just all of that thought-based process and everything was just so cool to me. I spoke to Austin about this a little bit off camera, but my journey wasn't as fun coming in because I sucked. I cannot throw the football. I was just athletic. I'd be running, jet sweep, quarterback jet sweep. We used to call it 18 quarterback, sweep or whatever. So I just got into it like that. And what made me want to pursue it is that I was trash. I could not throw. So I started, diving into it. At the time, I'm 22. I know to a lot of you guys that's old, but in the real world, that's not that old. But I'm 22, so. At the time when I was around 17 or 16, there wasn't much on the internet about throwing the football. I remember it was this Drew Brees sports science video where he would hit the bullseye. I remember I was just trying to replicate what he did to hit the bullseye, get that arm up, what they used to say. And there was a Joe Montana video too, old school. I don't know if you've seen it. He was yeah.
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Yeah, so that's how I kind of got into it, and surprisingly enough, which we'll get into probably later, it kind of worked. just me like believing in myself and being like, okay, this is how you do it. Let me go out there and execute. So from there, like I started getting a lot of traction. Heading into my high school career in Canada, I did really good. I got all the like cool schools in Canada. Like they reached out to me, wanted me to come out and play. But one thing that really changed my life, I know it's a little bit different for who you are, but I was fortunate enough to get invited to an Elite 11 regional camp. And I remember when that happened, I was just excited to like go out there and like compete. Obviously, that's what you go out to camps to do. But when I got there, I remember I was just shitting bricks. I was looking around, there's all these guys. I remember just overhearing guys say, I have offers from here, from there. I'm like, oh shit, that's crazy, you know? But when I got there, you know, it really changed my perspective because at the start, like everyone's kind of mean mugging each other. But as it goes on, everyone just was like connected. Hey, where do you go, man? You're nice. What are you doing, man? Like you should go there. You should, like everyone was just tight. And that just culture, that community, it just changed it for me. I was like, man, I don't give a shit what it takes. I'm gonna make it down south. For me, being from like up north for you, but I was trying to make it down south. So I got fortunate enough by the grace of God. I just had a great mentor. I'd like to give him a shout out. He's a fantastic person, a great mentor to me. His name is Coach Miles. On Instagram, he goes by the QB Movement. Just I connected with him like when I was probably like 17, 16. He's gonna get mad at me if I get this wrong, but around that age, I've known him for a long time. I got to give him his kudos. He really helped like me learn the position, and he really teach me like the basics that you guys probably see all over the place now: the low 90, high 90, external rotation, stability through rotation, all that stupid stuff. But yeah, so when I got into that, he really changed my quarterback like throwing aspect, which really translated onto the field, and I was able to do some really special stuff. Being from Canada, not growing up with a lot. Obviously, everyone's journey is different, but just embrace your journey because whichever journey you're going through, it really just shapes you bigger than football. It shapes you in life, how you treat other people too. It all, like for me, it all started on the field. Like I learned that, man, like once someone's down, you don't just say, man, oh, but you got to go and like talk to him and be able to be like, yo, I know it's tough right now, but we're going to figure it out. And that's when you create those tight bonds. I bet a lot of you guys too, like your best friends are the football guys, even later into your life, like you just stay in touch with them. You started like a community and a culture, and never take that for cherished, no matter what level you're at. The boys are the boys, so yeah, man, you'll have fun talking about whatever, but yeah, man, that's what it's all about. Honestly, right now, I'm still looking for my next opportunity, but like me and Austin were talking about earlier, I kind of came onto the social media thing. I'm a little different, I'd like to say. I like to teach a little bit, get you guys to understand like what you need to look for in terms of mechanics. But I also like to have a little bit of fun, troll a little bit. My guys, sometimes have a tough time catching it. I'll put them on the spot, something funny, just to get you guys to laugh a little bit, and understand that we're just human. We're on social media, but doesn't make us any better than anyone. If I can do it, you can do it, and I promise you, if you believe in yourself, man, if you have confidence, if you just surround yourself around people that are gonna uplift you, you'll feel like you can do anything, and they'll think you're crazy. But that's a good thing. That's a good
Hell
thing.
yeah. I mean, I can feel your energy through the screen. I know that I know that people listening are, feel it as well. And I'm usually the energy guy, dog. So usually, but we can tango back and forth here, and like it's along the lines of energy. It's like the charisma that you have, the juice that you have, the passion and the purpose, that was birthed at the beginning of your quarterback journey, but then ultimately, like as you go through things over time, like you get to know yourself. And you said something before we got started today, and I absolutely loved it. And I want you to explain it to people is, you said to me, it all starts from within. And that's something that I believe is at the foundation of everything we do. Like I told you right before this, Nelson Mandela, like if there is no peace, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm.
Yes,
Essentially,
sir.
if we get to know ourselves and we know who we are, like there's nothing out there that anybody can take away from us. But to learn that, like it took me years. It took me years. And I have my story. People are done hearing my story, bro. I want to hear how you got to
Hey,
the
he has
point.
a cool story though. Don't get it twisted.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. I guess I'm just kind of sick of that.
He's living my dream.
I'm kind of sick of telling it, but I gotta keep going, I guess. But I want to hear yours, bro. So when you say something like it starts all within, this thing all starts within, like I want you to take us into that. Like, take us into that. What does that mean? And like, how did you get to an understanding like that?
So I'll be honest with you guys. I'm just like you guys. I was in a dark place. Like I've went through a lot. When I would throw an interception, I'd be a punk. I'd be like, oh man, fuck, like it'd be hard for me to lock back in. I'm just like everyone else, but it sucks because I learned it pretty late. I learned it recently, honestly, like within these past like few months, and within the past year, like everything starts within. And what I mean by that is, we all have negative thoughts, like we all think negative things. We all have anxiety. We all have all these things. But the reason I say it starts within is because no one knows, no one can hear it, So, like, bigger than just it's all within, it's all energy based. If you surround yourself around people that are going to uplift you, that's what's going to go into your brain, and you'll start having some positivity around yourself. You'll start to glow a little bit more, and then you'll start to like believe in yourself in a sense, but once you surround yourself around people that are just not really serving you benefits, or just like talking down about you, or like you hear negative stuff that they said about you, like no, I'll be honest, no one likes people talking down on them. But so like if it's people, especially in your circle, talking down about you, that's when it starts to really like get to you. And then like all that anxiety and negativity starts with that. But if you just block that out and clear your energy and clear like your, I'll get a little scientific, but your frequencies, like the way you
For
see
sure.
things, the way you believe, your beliefs and whatnot, like it all starts with the people you're around. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I know you like the guys, but really look into them and be like, are they really my boys, And then with that, like you'll start to see you'll make the proper decisions, and then it'll get even deeper. It'll get into the what you eat, your nutrition, and then like all the little things that help you. And if you lock into that at a young age, like your nutrition, the people you're around, staying intact with your family, because family's everything, whether you argued with your siblings or not, remember that they came up with you. You got to stay down with them, like staying, remembering the core values, of life, and like the things that matter, and then everything within, when you start handling everything outside, everything within is going to clear itself up. And before you know it, you'll be this confident, like beast, But
Absolutely.
yeah.
This guy's dropping straight wisdom and it's coming at you fast. So I hope y'all can slow this shit down and like hear him out, and you keep going as fast as you're going, bro. I dig it. I dig it.
Yeah.
But you just dropped in 3 minutes all these different layers of wisdom, just
Yeah.
about all of the intricacies of the different aspects of playing quarterback and playing life.
Mm,
Playing life, right? I want to ask you, like, you said that it was fairly recent that you became like aware of this.
mm,
I told you before we started, like, I'm the guy that perceptively had everything that 99% of the quarterback community dreams about having.
right.
Yet the quote that I used that I really struggled with was how lonely it felt to have everybody telling me how good I was and how special what I was doing was. And I didn't feel that way about myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because I had lost some of that identity. And I shared with you, and I'll share with everybody, like, it's, there's a time where we start and it's all pure. And it's like, I just want to be the best player I can be, the best
Right.
person I can be. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
And then you take some lumps, bro. You take some lumps and things happen to you and adversity strikes. And then for me, like, I'm a deep feeler. I'm an empath, like, by nature. And so for me, like, I would take on now the thought of like, is my coach happy with what I'm doing? Like, are my teammates happy with what I'm doing? Like, are the fans happy with what I'm doing? And when you go outside yourself, it's quite literally the opposite of what you're talking about, which is going within to find that energy. And so for me, like, that was my struggle. And that struggle, I'm so blessed. Thank you, God. Like, so blessed, because that struggle led me to such a dark place that it's like they say that people change when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of changing, right? And when you think about that, like, that's the point that I hit. I hit a point where I was like, I got to shake some shit up, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know I have all these accolades and all these special things, but I don't feel good about myself, and I'm not gonna want to be around here very much longer if I don't figure out what makes me happy and what works for me. That's what launched the energy conversation for me. I was never even aware of it. I have naturally extremely high energy, and just like I've always been that, but I was shelling it out, like you said, to some of the wrong people. Anyway, it's a long way of saying like that it was the pain of multiple experiences from the time I was really 18 to 24 that got me to the point where I was like, look, there's got to be different ways to protect yourself, to take care of yourself, to ultimately learn more about who you are. And so for you, it's like whatever you'd like to share, but like what led to that epiphany? What led to like, yo, I need to focus on my energy. I need to be really, really, really thoughtful about how I shell myself out, who's around me. Like, because that's something that if these kids can listen to this at 15, 16, they don't have to understand it through the lens that we do with all the pain behind it. But if they can just make one or two decisions that change the way they feel on a daily basis, it'll go a long way. So just, yeah, what was the road to having that realization about yourself?
Yeah, honestly, that's a fantastic question. For me personally, I'm just like you. Unfortunately, like it was being at rock bottom too, just the adversity. And it's really like how you come back from being at your lowest point, like once you're at your lowest point, it's tough. You don't really know where to go. Some people, don't resort to the best things, but you got to remember, like we talked about, like they're all just thoughts,
Yep.
and it's tough to like tell someone how to like learn to elevate yourself, because like for me it's through experience, failing, not doing the right thing, worrying about things that actually don't even matter if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, but for the younger guys listening, I would just say live your life. Don't stop like comparing yourself. Me and Austin talked about this. Like we have phones now that are super like a huge thing to us, like if you lose your phone for like an hour, you're freaking out, but like at the end of the day, like just go through your life, there'll be trials and tribulations, but just like always take a second. You don't have to rush into decisions, just take a deep breath, understand like the situation at hand, and like try to take the right step forward, and like I said, I'm sorry to have to repeat this, but I feel like it's just so true. Like when I realized this, it really changed everything for me. It's just the people around you, man. Like if you have good people around you, when you're at your lowest point, they'll be there to pick you up, you know?
Totally.
And I hate to like admit it, but for me, like it was just being at my lowest point. Like from there, I had to pick myself up, and I wasn't just gonna lay in bed all day and like just, or, just be depressed, not talk to anyone. You have to be able to figure it out. And for you, like we spoke a little bit about like what you did. For me, honestly, it was just like taking time by myself, just block some stuff out, reflect, think about it a little bit. You don't always have to be surrounded around people. It's okay to like be by yourself for a little bit, just to like think, reflect, and understand what matters to you. And once you like kindle your purpose, you'll be able to attack it again, like get the board up, okay, write your goals. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. Refuel, refine yourself, like we don't really talk about it, but like the brain is one of the most the weirdest things, like sometimes we wake up and we're like, man, I'm gonna train, I'm gonna get right, and then some days we're
Yeah.
like, like why am I doing this, like, but you've got to be able to always remember like what am I doing it for, whether it's money, fame, whatever it is for you. I'm not gonna be the one to judge you. That's you,
Right.
do you, but you've got to be able, like when you go through adversity, find why you're doing it, and then it'll feel like so easy. Surround yourself around good people, and yeah, man, like that's all I can say about that.
Dude, I mean, well said. And now, like, adversity gives you a lot of that perspective, which is kind
Mm,
of what you talked about now. Like, 90% of the people I would assume that are going to listen to this are going to be from down south for you,
mm,
from the United States, right? And so I want you to help some of my spoiled ass dudes down here, and I'll call them that. You don't need to call them that, but tell us a little bit about like, yeah, the fight to keep the dream alive.
mm,
Like, you said single parent household, you're from Canada. Like, you knew you wanted to come down to the United States, but there's challenges that present themselves with even being able to do that.
mm.
And like, I think just hearing the humility and the steps that you've had to take and even where you find yourself at now, I think can help a lot of guys. So like, what has that road looked like to wanting something and having the opportunity to achieve it that other people, it's just very simple in terms of follow these steps.
Mm,
And if you're good enough, like you'll find your way into it.
mm,
Like that's not necessarily the case for you.
mm.
So give us a little bit of the story of just coming up and the fight to keep your quarterback dream alive, even into the present day.
So honestly, it just starts with like just dimming it down even more than that. Just take it a day at a time. Obviously you have an end goal, which is what you want to achieve, but you're not there yet. Live in the moment. So for me, honestly, it wasn't easy. Just being able to like go to school down south, you have to go through so much more. Just the paperwork. We need to be on student visa and everything like that. I'm not gonna get too much into it because like it's boring stuff. But
Right.
once you get there, like you're on your own. You gotta like be able to like figure it out. And at the end of the day, like no one really cares about like how hard it was. They care about like, oh, what'd you do to make it? What'd you do to make it happen? And for you guys that like, can just go to school around the corner and like end up playing at the like Division 1 level or even at the pros, like every step of the way there's gonna be challenges, and it comes down to like how badly you want it. So if you're going there just being nonchalant, sure, in the moment it may work, but like once you get to that higher level, there's gonna be dogs everywhere. Like everyone in that room is gonna be a dog. So it always comes down to how badly you want it. Do you want to be the best quarterback, or do you just want to look cool? And that'll reflect on the way your performance. Because if you want to perform properly, you'll take the right measurements to be able to put yourself in position to be successful. It's all like it's like there's a checklist you have to go through. Sometimes you can skip a few elements of the checklist, but it'll come back to bite you. I promise you. So it comes down to how badly you want it. Once you're in there, just understand like, man, I put in the work. I was out there with, if you're like part of the locked in family, I've been there with Austin. I know like what it takes, and you have a great mentor in front of you. He's been able to be someone that did it at that level. So he knows what it takes, and pick his brain, ask the right questions. If you have all these people accessible to you, like I was talking about earlier, keep them in your circle because they'll be the ones that are like, guide you through the journey, and it'll make it easier for you. But just because they make it easier for you doesn't mean it's going to be easy. You need to be able to look within and do what it takes to continue to have that success.
So well said. So well said. If you have access to people, I think it's one of the cheat sheets of getting to where you want to get to is you are your own person. Like you will always be your own person. Don't try to be anybody that's not you.
Mm-hmm.
That said, the blueprints are out there.
Yeah.
You want to learn how to shoot a basketball? Go read what Del Curry did to Steph Curry while they were growing up. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you can see it, you can learn it, and like you're talking about, if you have access to anybody that has been there and done that, like just listening to
Listen.
them talk is an ability to go, damn, I didn't even think about that. Damn,
Mm-hmm.
he did this. Okay, I'm going to start to just do all these things. That'll get me closer. And then once I get closer, I'll start to realize more of like what works for me with that.
And yeah, I honestly want to add something else. Like, if you're someone like me, like it feels like you can't do it or it feels hard, I'm gonna be the first to tell you that you can do it. Like straight up, you can do it. I swear to God, I'm literally. You would not think I was gonna be able to do the things I did. I didn't even think of it at the time, but like you can do it. Literally, like just I'm someone that's from like out of the country. Even if you're from anywhere else in the world, like man, it's gonna be tough. You can't. I can't change. This is me. This is me. Shit, this is me. So what am I gonna do? Like, I gotta figure it out. I got to be able to take the right steps to put myself in the position to be able to get to where I want to be. And shoot, if it means I got to take out this bank loan, shit, like let's get it. Let's get it. Let's put
I
the
love it, dude.
let's
I
let's
absolutely
put
love it.
let's just figure it out. Let's make sure that, I'll be proud of myself. Even if you don't end up getting to the level, that you want to get to, at least you tried. Then you can live
Right,
with yourself. But if you don't
right.
try, then like you always think back, oh, what if? But fuck the what ifs, man. Like just do it. Just do it. Like swallow your pride. Sometimes, you won't perform as good because you had jet lag, but the coaches do not care. I promise you. I remember like when I was at my JC over there, like it was tough for me. But at the end of the day, like when I come on the field, my coach wants me to perform. He doesn't care. He doesn't care, my boy. So you've got to be able to, man. I know it's gonna be tough. I know. That's what I was talking about earlier. How badly do you want it? Are you
Right.
gonna, like, shoot? I'm hungry, but I got to go get this lift in. Let me just, find that energy within to be able to just get through it, and then I'll eat after. Get close with the boys, too, because you never know. Sometimes, they'll be able to help you out a little bit here and there. Hey, you need somewhere to live? Cool, I got you. Boom. Like unlock things. Like be a good person. Being a good person helps develop like relationships. So, like I'll come back to what I spoke about earlier. Like it's gonna be tough, but man, think about it. Do you want to do this? And be honest with yourself. Like, if you don't want to do it, just stop because it's gonna be hard. If you're someone like me, if you're someone from like out of the country, getting to the States is not easy. It's not easy. Like you've got to leave your family, you've got to put money, you got to put time into it. You're gonna be alone a lot because like something that you may not even know. Like we have different Thanksgivings.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like for me personally, like my family would celebrate it like on a different date. So like I just
Yeah.
have to see it virtually, and then you
Yeah.
guys would celebrate it, and then it'd be like, it's just little things. It's gonna be hard, man, but just figure it out. And if you need people to talk to, man, like I don't really read the comments. Y'all be trolling too much, but DM me. Like if you're someone that's from like that has a tough like journey, I can talk you through mine. Like I'm still going through it, honestly. So I'm still figuring it out as I go. But if you're a young cat, like I'd love to like be there for you, give some wisdom, and help you continue to believe in yourself, because a lot of times in life we go through things alone when we don't necessarily have to.
Well, now we get into like when we talk about your journey as a passer, like
Yeah.
my journey as a passer was, I was taught just very rigid through the lens of like, again, a different game. Like back when I grew up, I mean, you're talking late 90s, early 2000s, like, and then into the 2010s, 11s, 12s, and all that. Like, we're talking about for the most part, 80% of my quarterback journey was under center drop back offenses, like
Right. And that's crazy to
21.
me. That's crazy.
Isn't that wild? Isn't that wild? And that's like, and that's what I want to connect with this question is like, for me, my brother and I laugh about it all the time because like I started 30 college football games. So it's like, dude, you were good. Like you were good. And it's
Yeah.
like, bro, I look at the way I threw compared to the way people throw, and I'm like, I sucked, bro. Like I just got it done, dog. I just competed. And
Yeah.
like, but my career ended, and RPO and read zone like started changing the game back in like 2007, like Pat White, Steve Slayton, like from West Virginia, Alex Smith at Utah with Urban Meyer and Dan Mullen.
Right.
Like that's when things started to change. And my senior year, we put in a bunch of RPO stuff out of spread. And like I was being asked to perform throws because of what the play required
Right.
that like my mechanics didn't support. And so that was the first time where I was like, damn, bro, like I have to reset my feet. Like I can't be open off this action and throw the ball. Like
Right.
you try to get high as hell to do that. Like good
You're not
luck,
gonna
bro.
have that
That
much
ball's going
success.
straight down. You know what I mean? So, and yet like my coaches were very fundamental and like very, rule based back in like what had been taught again in a different world of football. Now you find yourself in a position where you just flamed yourself and you said you sucked, right? And it's like, there's a reason that you got all the followers you have and have made the difference on the quarterback community the way that you have, and it ain't because you suck. So you've not only figured shit out physically, but in order, everything like we've been talking about, everything that we see physically is ultimately going to be a manifestation of what we feel internally and what we know in our head. So I'm asking a multi-layered question, which is like, quarterback has evolved so much. So you being somebody who's really helping people understand this transition mechanically is like, take us into what your thoughts were about the position and how you performed or operated mechanically. You had shared that like you were watching a lot of guys and just kind of trying to do what they were doing. Then you also said that you met Coach Miles and like that gave you a really good foundation through this. But take us into, yes, the evolution of quarterback at large. And then I think you can do that by kind of telling us your evolution, like how you went from being shitty to, being this guy that everybody loves seeing that ball spin on social media. The Canadian ball is a cheat code, by the way, but that's no shade. That's no shade. That's just the way the shit looks on
Hey, that's
camera,
what I'm
bro.
accessible to. That's what they sell in the stores. That's what's there. I gotta get it. Yeah, great question. But so honestly, like you said, honestly, like the game changed the schemes, the way they go about like attacking defenses is very different, and sometimes it's tendered to the quarterback. So sometimes they'll adjust based on like what he's good at. But yeah, like back in the day, like I grew up watching like Cam Newton and Russell Wilson, and that was like kind of like, whoa, the mobile quarterback. They didn't really see it. It was
Yeah.
more like draw back, get under center, like you said, 7-step drop, really like let the play develop. But now you see sometimes on TV they'll even say only he can make that throw.
Right.
Like
Right.
you'll hear different things. It'll be like, okay, you see guys like off the play fake, they won't even move, and it looks like a
It
short
won't
stop. They'll just
reset.
like flick it.
Yep.
And then you start to see it even like at the college level, and then now at the high school level, and then it's beautiful. Everything in life is gonna evolve, so it's nice to see that the way it's been going. Yeah, like for me personally too, I like started off, I didn't really know what I was doing. I just picked up the football and like started throwing, but I think I was over exaggerating. I didn't really suck too bad, but like it wasn't where I needed to be,
Right.
honestly. Like I knew I needed to get better. Like I mentioned earlier, I got in contact with one of the greatest mentors in my life, and he sort of helped me like with the foundation and whatnot. And one thing that I learned from him too was that like it's not that hard. Once
Right.
you understand what you're doing, you can do it. Like it's just remembering to be consistent within it, and then like find what works for you. And then like when I got onto my own journey, I remember like I would watch guys that had like bad mechanics have a lot of
Yeah.
success. So
Right.
for me, it was more so like we talked about earlier, bigger than even throwing the football. It starts like with how you think, your confidence.
Yep.
If you think you
Yep.
can make that throw, you're definitely going to make it. But if you're doubting yourself before you make the throw, you're not going to make it. But you can obviously help yourself with having cleaner mechanics. And that's what I'll get into. When I was younger, we were taught, honestly, that like you want to like sort of generate all your momentum towards your target to have the best
Yep.
outcome and
Yep.
to be able, to generate the throw with velocity, which is what we're all looking for, and accurately. There'd be different cues. As you start to watch the guys nowadays, you start to see like, whoa, that is not what I learned. You'll literally see, like we talked about, them making like ridiculous throws, and it's all things that we can do ourselves too. And it's funny because I learned watching the best guys at that time, and now the guys growing up now are watching those guys. So naturally, that's what's gonna happen. I watch Mahomes, I see him throw sidearm. Oh shit, I'm gonna go try that now. And then all of a sudden, you're good at it. Like me back then, it was okay. I'm gonna go watch Drew Brees, the sports science video. I'm gonna go watch Montana, and then oh shit, I can do it now. It's
Right.
not I'm sorry to say this, but it's not always about mechanics. You've got to like be able to like understand what you're seeing on the field. As far as like coverages, contours, and like fronts and whatever. We can dive into that. That's a whole other conversation. But you got to be able to understand what you're looking at, and then from there, like if you have the right principles, everyone's gonna throw differently. But if you can keep in mind the like core values of throwing the football, as far as like balance, posture, stability through rotation, front foot placement and whatever, the little things, you'll have some success. So that's what I
Well,
have to say.
I'm gonna put you on the spot here a little bit with this. Is like, when I give you this 14-year-old quarterback
Okay.
and he doesn't know anything, dude. And
Yeah.
it's like you said something before we started today that I believe in, and I want to expand on it a little bit after this. But you said like, we're really trying to work to limit cues, like
Mm,
limit the things that a kid is thinking about, like, but that's very multi-layered because obviously like with no foundation of any kind, like there's definitely things that he needs to do. So just overall, like philosophically, how would you approach like working with, again, he doesn't even need to be 14, bro, just a quarterback who is just getting into it. Like how would you approach kind of mentoring him? And even if you have some things mechanically that you want to specify, you don't have to, but just what would your approach be with a kid like that?
well, first, don't even pick up a football yet. Just talk to him. Be like, why do you want to do this? This is kind of hard. Playing quarterback's not that easy. So why is it that you want to do this? And then everyone's reason is going to be different. Some people, it may be my dad played. Some people, it may be like I want to have the ball in my hands every play. And it's just understanding why they want to do it, and then because that becomes their why. And that's huge because it'll detect whether they're going to keep going or if this is just going to be like a little
A
flame.
solid why can persist any what or how. Like,
Exactly. There we go.
right?
There we
There
go.
we go,
There we
dog. Keep
go.
going.
But yeah, from there, start off with just like a little bit of warm up, just getting the blood flow going, just helping them like break a sweat. Because sometimes when we just go, I'm not going to try to get too scientific, but sometimes when we just go and throw the football without any warm up, we're tight. The blood's not flowing through the right tendons and everything, so we're just like stiff. Like sometimes it's cold, and as you start to run, you start to warm up. Is the same thing when you're like throwing a football, just getting that arm, everything like properly assessed, and then from there, just watch them throw, let them do their thing, instead of just the thing with younger guys. Like when I worked with younger guys, is if they overthink, they're gonna throw so shitty. It's gonna be it's gonna be annoying. It's gonna be annoying, and so I feel like it starts with that, just letting them throw the football, have fun, act as if they're just playing catch in the backyard with their dad. From there, you can start to look at like the like big like missing links, like if he's overstriding, obviously you don't want that, the big
Right.
things that matter, right? So like just the like you want to help him stay or her stay balanced as much as they can, because as a kid, like you kind of throw your whole body into it, and sure it may work, but you're just going to hurt yourself.
No
So
doubt.
so you want to like just a couple things to like help them understand that like stability, posture, and balance is the most important things, in order to like be able to get the ball from point A to point B. So from there, just let them throw, have fun. And then as we evolve and I start to see that they're grasping the little things, we can start to dive
Yeah.
into a little bit of deeper things like,
Yeah.
maybe how to stop your momentum with efficiency, how to, accelerate your arm path when you need to, how to throw off platform, how to throw with it without having your base, the more like detailed things that naturally, honestly, they'll learn themselves just by being able to throw the football statically. But but as you start to like grow and start working with the quarterback, it's like one day at a time, just helping them, take that 1%, not overflowing their brain with information, just the little things, honestly. And then next thing you know, they're really slinging it. They're probably slinging it better than the coach too now. So
Shit, not if they're on the field with us. That's for damn sure. Not you or me. But something that you tapped into there, I was pointing at the screen because I was like, yes, this is fire. So when you guys see me pointing at the screen, it's like this guy's been spitting bars the whole time. But I'm saying like, hey, that right there is like you said something that very few people talk about, and it's something that I deeply believe in, which is allowing the quarterback to find himself.
yeah.
Allowing the quarterback to find himself, giving and providing bumpers like you're talking about, like like yes, it needs to be done within that. That's
Mm-hmm.
base, balance, like
Yeah.
stability, like
Mm-hmm.
all of those different things, right? But like again, they're explain balance, like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
don't fall over, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
it's like after the rep's over, don't be falling into your front
Yeah.
side, or like it's very basic, but the idea of allowing the quarterback to find themselves
Mm-hmm.
kind of taps into that mental state that is a lot more free.
Mm-hmm.
And so like you'll see in the way we train, and like it's again, the philosophy is very very similar, but like the way we train is like we're going to challenge you to move your body and contort your body in different positions that
Mm-hmm.
completely break all the rules
Yeah.
of what is traditional, because I know that that first rep is going to feel horrible and the
Right.
ball's not going to go where you want. The second rep's probably going to feel shitty too. And then you're going to get that third, fourth, fifth. And then you start to see a kid go, whoa, I can do that. Like I can
Yeah.
do that. And it's like, right, there aren't limitations. So you said
Mm-hmm.
something earlier, like, these guys on TV that are like, only Mahomes can do that. It's like, really? We just did it on Saturday. You know what I mean? Like, I, I didn't do it in Arrowhead against the Chargers
Yeah.
last night,
Yeah.
but like, but I can do it on a field. And so expanding the realm of possibility, which for you, I can tell is something that like you believe personally. And then as we start to get into like the influence that you're having on the quarterback community, I think it's really cool. You sent me a message as I reached out to you to hop on the podcast together, and you were like, thank you for everything you're doing and stuff. And paving the way in ways for people to be like open up and share all this shit like on social media. And I turned it right back to you, and I'll turn it right back to you again. It's like what you've been able to do is you're very artistic, bro. So like the way that you use your clips and the way that it's very, very simple. And yet, like Albert Einstein would say, like, in order to teach anything simply, like you have to know it at
Mm-hmm.
that depth.
Mm-hmm.
So like getting involved on social media, starting QB1Weezy, getting that going. Like I was fascinated as we started this, where like early on, there wasn't a lot of intention behind it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and then you've developed this deep intention that I really respect and admire. So, like, what got you into socials and what got you started in that world? And then when did that kind of turn into a little bit of a mission for you?
So for me personally, once again, I like to put an emphasis on me personally because everyone's experiences are going to be different, you know. But for me, I'm going into this. I didn't think much about it, honestly. If you were following me for a long time, you would know that it wasn't really the same. Like I used to just
Yeah.
like have I would have like a little presentation. It was funny. I would have like slideshows and it'd be
Yeah.
like a breakdown of like what's
Bro,
cover
that shit was
one.
fire though too. I remember that.
I
I remember
appreciate
that.
it.
That shit was
I
fire. Don't
appreciate
sell
it.
yourself short, dude.
I appreciate it, but it was a really different style of doing it. And it's just because I'll be super honest with you guys, like I didn't have that growing up. So
Yeah.
to be able to just see it on your phone and be like, oh,
Right.
this is actually the real thing. Like I don't have to like pay $1 million to like or a certain amount, you know, to learn this information. I can just go on my phone now. And for me, like it was just for fun. Like honestly, like I had all this information. It was during COVID too, so like I'm stuck in my house. I'm not doing much. So, you know, why not just do something that I love, you know, like talk about the quarterback position and like I love quarterbacking. If you know me, like it's painful watching football with me because I'll see a throw and I'll be like, wait, go back. I have the little remote. I'll be like, you know, I'm like a little coach. I'll be like, wait, go back. Let me see that throw again. Like, you know, I had so much information and I'm like, yo, let's just share it. And before I knew it, like there was a lot of people reaching out to me like, man, you helped me so much. And my thing was like, man, I'm having an impact on so much people that I don't even know. So like you never know who's watching. Why not just keep at it, you know? Sometimes I go back, I'll be the first to admit to you I'm not perfect. So
Yeah.
sometimes like I'll say stuff in the past that I'll reevaluate and I'll be like, I don't think that's true, you know? And it's just through
Yeah.
experience and through watching
Yep.
other quarterbacks and it's understanding that like we're human too, you know? Your quarterback coach may act like he knows everything, but at the end of the day, he's still learning. You know, the game's
For sure.
evolving. We talked about it. So yeah, just being open minded, not being closed minded, just being open to learning new things. So before I try to put out information, I try to like make sure it's true, you know, make sure
Yeah.
it's right. Go try myself on the field, talk to other people, see, okay, what do you think about this? Talk to some guys that are really knowledgeable about like more like biomechanically, you know,
Yep.
so like to make sure like the way your body's moving is like scientifically proven the right way to do it, you know? So I like
Right.
to speak to the right people for that, honestly. And then like, yeah, just watching the guys on Sundays, I'll be the first to tell you, like, I know some people will say like, oh, he's in the NFL, don't watch him. But like, why not? He's the best at what he's doing. So
No
why not?
limits. No limits.
No limits. Like, why not just I know I'm not going to be exactly like Mahomes or one of these other guys, but at least like if I kind of have a blueprint, I know how it's supposed to like look so that
Yeah.
I can do it my own way, but try to emulate it. Like you're obviously not going to look and like do it exactly like him, but shoot, he doesn't swing. He's just,
Right.
you know, so if I do
Correct.
that, maybe I won't necessarily understand the like biomechanics behind it, but I'll try to emulate it and I'll have more success than trying to look a specific way, you know, just
Yep.
being calm, being relaxed. I like to watch them warm up because that's when they don't really have to deal with all the, you know, stuff happening within the
Yep.
trenches, you know, so they're really clean. They don't really
Yep.
have to like contort their body to make the throw. So that's something that I like to do. You'll see on my page probably like I usually use like them warming up because it's just the cleanest form of the product that you'll see.
Totally.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes you'll see some glimpse of them in game, but I'll be honest with you, it's a little rare sometimes, especially with like just what's happening, the pressure. Sometimes someone's in your face, you gotta navigate. But yeah, I'll say, yeah, that's all I gotta say for that.
Beautiful. And you talked a little bit before we started about getting 1% better every day. And like, that's something that I had heard Jordan Palmer talk to Deshaun Watson about, and
Oh,
Deshaun
nice,
Watson kind
nice.
of repeated it a few
Nice.
times. And it's like, it's, it's one of those statements that a lot of people hear, but like don't understand it to the depth at which some understand it. So
Mm,
part of what we have talked about is the holistic aspect of quarterback.
okay.
So, the 1% in your life is like, take us into what that looks like, because it's not just creating social media content and throwing spirals, like
Mhm.
there's a whole lot of other 1% that I already
Yeah,
know you're attacking over there, because
yeah.
my man's energy is right over there. So I know he's doing shit. So take us into just the broadness of like what being a quarterback is and how you find yourself attacking 1% in all those areas.
Yeah, honestly, it comes down to like I spoke about earlier, just understanding like why you're doing it, obviously, but with besides that, daily on your day-to-day like process, like if you really care about it, you're gonna try to like do something that it takes to help yourself be better, Whether it's, watching film, working out, eating straight, eating clean, like you've got to be able to like every day just do something to help yourself, in that aspect of things. And that's what I feel like will help elevate you. If you take like a week off, you're letting your opposition, which could have been working all those days, take a
For
step ahead of
sure.
you. So I just think like it's starts every day, 1% at a time. That's why I love that saying. I honestly got it from my boys. They're always like the 1%er. I'm a 1%. It was cool. I liked it. It's just like, man, push yourself daily. Every day's a new opportunity, so take advantage of it and have fun doing it. Always have fun. That's what it comes down to.
Dude, you're 22 years old and I'm 33. So we're 11 years apart. We got a decade between us, but I just see so much of like myself in you and the way that you approach all of
Oh
this.
shucks,
And
thank you, thank you.
yeah, for real, for real, for real. So I don't know where you're getting all this shit from, bro, but you're on point here, all right? Because I had to have James Franklin's foot up my ass to learn all the stuff that I learned, right? But
Mhm.
it's in general, I was saying that to say, you know, I thought that my career was over at 23.
Mm,
And I got offered a Canadian contract and turned it down because I had been through so much adversity that I had a mission, and that was to serve kids and
yeah.
to help kids. In today's world of social media, like you can really do both, but you have two things going on here. Like you're helping a lot of people. You have an online program that's available for people to go get involved with you, like at low cost. And then you also have a career. So I think the career, because you've talked pretty extensively about like what you're doing with QB1Weezy, and like if you'd like to dive into it, go for it. But like as a player, what's the future look like for you? And that big ass question mark is a part of it too. But kind of bring us into just what we're gonna see from Wesley on the football field, or what he hopes to have us see.
So on the football field, like for that aspect of things, it's not over yet. I'm letting y'all know it's still going on. I'm making moves behind the scenes. I'm talking to some people, looking to see like what the next opportunity is going to be. Just taking it a day at a time, 1% every day. Trying to figure it out, see what's bracking with that. Trying to make the right decision, and taking my time to evaluate if that's the right decision. Don't rush into things. So that's huge for me. Just taking it easy. I want to go somewhere where it's going to be comfortable for me, and that I'm going to be able to like get on the field and play. Honestly, like he mentioned, it's 22 in the football world. That's old. I see you guys getting drafted at like 20 now, 21. It's crazy. It's making me jealous. Y'all younger than me. Y'all younger than
Yeah.
me now. But it's good. It's good. I love to see everyone reaching their goals and all their aspirations. Living up to it. But for me personally, like it doesn't really matter. Everyone's journey is going to be different. Mine's going to be different than yours. Maybe just people older than me still pursuing it. Just go until you can't, honestly, and understand like you're not only doing it for playing without you even noticing. You're learning things like chasing it that'll translate into life. So whoever you are, whatever your journey is, just go about it. Try to make the best decision for you, honestly, and you'll be content with yourself. And as far as the online stuff, I'll surprise a lot of you guys. Like, it's just for fun. Like, I love just, I'm like Austin, like I just want to help people. Like I grew up, oh man, I grew up tough. I grew up rough, you know? So being able to just go on there and like, I know my stuff. Like I've been, 22 is old, right? So I've been doing
Yeah.
it for a while now. So I've been able to learn a lot. I've been able to get around a lot of quality coaches and like the best in the world. One of them is right here in front of us. And then like, there's a lot of people like I've spoke to and I've been able to like sort of like, chalk it up and see what they think, their approach to throwing and whatnot. And from there, I was able to like make it my way because I'm still like Gen Z. So
Yeah.
I know what I like to watch. I like to watch things that are aesthetically pleasing. So I'll try to make it look cool, be funny, show you like a comparison for you to be able to like really visually see it so that,
Right.
you can go and apply it. And yeah, like, sure, I'm still a player and I'm still playing and chasing my dream. But, like, I'll be honest with you, we're always on our phones. There's always a little bit of time. For me personally, I do it before I go to sleep, just lock in right quick, make a cool little video for you guys to be able to like learn, and then for you guys, some of us, we're in the Eastern time zone, but some guys, it might be earlier, so you'll see it before bed. Some guys might see it in the morning, but it's just, locking in, getting some more information. There's never enough information. I tend to spam sometimes because I'm just so creative. I like to, I like to get it out, man. I'm still in school right now. There's still other things going on in life, but the quarterback stuff, it's a really competitive like landscape. There's a lot of guys doing it at a high level, but it doesn't even matter. Just serve your own purpose, do it for you, have fun with it, and next thing you know, you'll be at where you want it to be at the get go.
We're going to finish this thing with two things. Two things, okay? The first one is drop that old bullshit, all right? Because what I was saying was I coached in the SEC for 7 years, and then, bro, it's crazy the mechanic evolution and what my brother taught me, because my brother went down the rabbit hole, bro, and just he learned it for himself. He really did. I mean, he emulated Aaron Rodgers and just studied it so much that he found that feeling for him, and he taught it to me. And when I felt that, like, I was like, fuck, dude, I think I got to go play again. So my brother won the German football league for
Let's go.
Dresden in
There we go.
Germany, and
There we go.
I was like, fuck this, dude, I'm gonna go play for him next year. So I went out there. So I'm saying it because get that old shit out of here at 22. I was 31, dude, with
Let's
guys that
go.
were drinking beer before practice, going out there on the field out in Germany, dude. But
Hey,
then
I
the
know y'all
second
do that in
part,
college too. Don't think it's all good. They do that out here.
but then the second part to finish it is like, hey, just so thankful for your time. Like, you have a very inspiring story, but you also have a very inspiring charisma. So I told you, I'm just excited to continue to have a relationship with you and see what you're doing and you see what I'm doing, and just
Yeah.
continue to help people, because we're on the same mission in that respect. And now with that is like, you've dropped nuggets everywhere, and I'll try to put the quotes for you guys like underneath the video so that you guys can, just have some of those bars. But I asked this question, I want you to think about it for however long you need to, but I think it's a very, very powerful question. Like, if you could go back to the beginning of your career, let's call it when you're 15, 16 years old, and tell yourself one thing that you know now that at that time would have helped you the most? Like, where did that?
That's a great question. Honestly, if I had to narrow it down, here's the two things. I can't just narrow it down to one. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
because
okay,
there's
good.
a lot. There's a lot that I learned, but number one will be, I struggled with this a lot, is the comparison. Just
Yeah.
thinking that, okay, oh, he has this, so I should have this. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Everyone's journey is different. He might hit it off right now, but like later in life you'll hit it off. Like he was the superstar when you guys were 12, but now like I'm 18 and I'm better now. So it's really just staying in your lane, man. Do you really just like live your truth, live your purpose, just the comparison. And it's on our phones. I know like some of you guys are in high school going into your college, career, and then you'll be like, oh, why did this guy go to this school? Like trying to like debunk things that don't really matter. Just find what works for you. talk to your family, talk to the ones that you value their opinion, and figure out like what you want to do with yourself. That was honestly for me. I'm sorry, I talk a little fast. I have my
Bro, I
thoughts
love
flushing in
it.
my
I
brain.
love it, dude. I love it.
Yeah, so just really the comparison thing, like that, like stop comparing yourself. I know it's tough, but you've got to just put that aside. Put your pride aside. Just understand that that's their timing, that's God's timing for them, but your timing is going to be even greater, because that's your timing. Not that it's better than theirs, but it's because that's your journey. It doesn't get better than that. And number two would just be like, stop being like, don't be so like cocky, like I know cocky's confidence in a sense, but like, man, humble up. It's okay to ask questions, it's okay to like seek information. It's okay to like have people like look at you. It's okay to make mistakes. I was always so focused on doing what's the right move, but nothing's really the right move until you make it the right move,
Exactly
so
right.
you need to be able to just like self-assess and yeah, like just find your purpose, focus on that. So like the two things that I mentioned, I'll restate it, is just number one, stop comparing yourself. It's not going to help you, I promise you. Don't compare yourself to anyone, no matter what. Sure, you can look at them as competition, that's cool, have that competitive energy. He's got Bruce Lee back there, you see MJ.
We got Vince down here. Come on now. We know what it is.
Those are some of the best competitors in the world, and it's just because no matter what, they knew that like I'm better than you, but they didn't think they were better than their opponent because they're comparing. It's just I've put in more work than you.
Exactly.
So focus on you. Go put in the work, try to put yourself in positions to have success, like, so obviously like find the right people and do the right things, camps, perform in school and whatever, but it starts with that. Don't compare yourself, do you, put yourself in the right position. And number two, like, failing is inevitable. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So don't be so afraid of making the mistake. Don't go into a game being like, oh, don't throw a pick, don't throw a pick. Because you're low-key manifesting it, you're thinking about it, so it's gonna happen. It might happen, so don't do that. Don't always try to be perfect. Just go with it. Trust the work you put in. And if you want to be able to have success, as to like, you don't throw interceptions, study film, do the things outside of it. Study film, train hard, and focus on like your thoughts, being happy, because once you're happy, it becomes a lot more bearable to like just go out there and make mistakes. Once
Totally.
you're always negative and you make a mistake, it's going to reflect on your teammates. You're going to start like, the quarterback, like, man, you've really got to, like, everyone's looking at you. Even those DBs that are talking smack, like, everyone's looking at you. And the way you respond to situations is the way the guys around you are going to feed off of it.
No doubt.
So,
No
yeah.
doubt about it. Well, that wraps up. Look at us at 59 minutes and 15 seconds, right on the hour. And the
There we
fire
go.
that we talked about is going to keep it at an hour. I want to mention, and it's QB1Weezy on
Thank you.
Instagram.
Thank
And
you.
then his link in his bio, like that will take you to his website and those things. Is there any other place that, you want to let people know that you're where you are and where they can find you?
Man, if you have any questions, man, just DM me, hit me up, and I'll do my best to get back to everyone. Like I said, if you guys just want like a mechanic breakdown, hey, how does it look? What should I do? Like, I'll I'll do my best to get back to like most of you, but yeah, if you want to like reach out to me, DM me, Unfortunately, like I'm from Canada, so I'd love to like maybe one day link up with Austin, and
Damn
we'll do
right.
something. We'll do something like cool in person, but for now, like I'm a little similar to him. I'm doing most of my stuff online, so hit me up. We can like chalk it up, and yeah, man, just don't be afraid. Like, it's okay to be left on red. It's okay. It happens. It happens sometimes. I've been left on red, bro. Like, it's okay. Just later on, maybe they'll hit you back up, but just give it a shout. Text me, I'm here for you. And even if you just want to talk about, like, I know I mentioned this earlier, but it's really like something that's very like endearing to me. If you're like looking to like take that step and like go play somewhere else, because I know what it takes, in terms of like the international paperwork and whatnot. Just talk to me, if that's something that interests you. Other than that, man, just have fun, play football. At the end of the day, it's a game, so make the most out of it, and just keep believing in yourself.
Dude, that wraps it up. Episode 39 done. Drop some questions in the comments. We are two people that definitely want to serve you. And Wesley, bro, I just appreciate the time, dog. And I know that this is the start of something. So I'm excited to continue to build our relationship. All right.
Yes, sir. Hey, thank you. Thank you.
Dude. Absolutely, brother. We'll talk soon. I'll see ya.